I wanted to start recording now because I recently ate, and I didn't have French fries this time. I only had 20 chicken nuggets and then 2 cookies, actually. I had 2 cookies to simply test if I got tired from it. If I got tired from those things. And now that I'm talking now, I am feeling a little bit tired, but we'll see how much I get tired. If it gets more or if it gets less. I was looking at Toro for a bit. This tank I have, it interests me. It's a nice little one. Nice tank. 360 damage per shot. Got some nice things about it. I was looking at the equipment. But I'm thinking about a video currently, making a video. Let me actually look at some things quickly. I'm feeling good though, I know that. I am feeling good. I'm not feeling tired. It's interesting though, because when I usually get McDonald's, is I get the French fries, but I actually didn't do it this time because they have a bunch of carbohydrates in them. And so I'm lowering my carbohydrate intake by a lot by not getting them. And simply eating the chicken nuggets. Of course, the carbohydrates in the cookies definitely are a lot. And yeah, they are a lot of carbohydrates in those cookies that I ate. 2 of them. I was planning on only eating 1, but they sent me 2. Yeah, so I ordered 2. I ordered 1 cookie, and they gave me 2. That was, quite interesting. I guess they're simply normalized to having... That's what it seems, at least. It seems they're normalized to simply having people order 2. And then because of that, they're giving it people accidentally 2, even though they order 1. I'm gonna try to stay awake. Of course I am. I always do try to stay awake. Every single time I've gotten tired, I've always tried to stay awake. But the fact is, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It simply doesn't work. I'm still getting tired. I seem to get more and more tired until it's basically unbearable and I have to relax anyways. Or I simply do terrible in the game I'm playing, or do terrible in Workshop, or do terrible in World of Tanks, and I simply need to relax anyways. So the fact is, this is a really good test, and also the fact is I need to fix something, because it's not because of me. It's not because of me mentally. That's simply how I want to do it. No, that's not how it is. I want to stay awake. I want to do things. And I want to play. I want to do well. And I also want to do Workshop and everything. But the fact is, I'm getting tired in the middle of the day when I'm trying to actually use my energy that I got from my food. I wonder if they're ever going to sell this tank again. They probably will, but this tank is so disgusting. Like, dude, I don't know how they could... I don't know how they're going to sell this again, but this is absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Only 500 millimeters. This is what a Jagdpanzer E100 can do to this thing when it's playing hull down. Literally nothing. The Jagdpanzer E100 can eat Kaku, as Skill would say. This is what 420 millimeters of heat penetration does to the Cocadrillo playing hull down with only 8 degrees. This is a medium tank. It's a medium tank. Oh, jeez, this tank is so nice. The only thing I hate about the Cocadrillo is that it's not a premium tank. I wish it was, because this tank would be so fun to play and simply use to earn credits. They ruined it. They ruined it simply not making it a premium tank. I wish they would simply change that. Also only has 1,900 hit points. It's definitely not much for a tank. Tier 10 tank. 1,900. It's not terrible, but it's not great. It's much less than heavy tank at tier 10. I have 0 gold. Yeah, actually, I can demount this for free. Doesn't require any gold. Nice. Yeah, I think this build's best. I don't need that turbocharger. This tank already is quick enough. It goes 20 backwards, 52 forwards, 19 specific power. I think I'm good. Really, what this tank needs is improvements to the gun. The gun is simply a little bit annoying to play with. I mean, it's annoying to play against because it hits so hard. It hits for 470. I mean, that's a lot. And then it reloads in 5 seconds, basically. So it's a lot. But the fact is, the dispersion is horrendous. So improving the gun is the best option. To give you a bit of a quick way to shoot someone. Shoot the enemies. It gives you a much more quick way to shoot the enemies when you have more dispersion reduction. I'm trying to reply to someone on YouTube and it's not letting me. It keeps saying an error occurred. I'll show you the message when I'm done. But this is one of the reasons I actually wanted to make this video, is because I wanted to talk about some of this stuff. It's interesting. It really is. Let me see if my comment actually is there. My reply, I mean, not my comment. Yeah, it's good. It's going well. I mean, I'm talking about the comment. It's there. The reply, I mean. Let me show you it now on YouTube if my YouTube would ever want to work properly. No clue. You know what I want to play today? I want to play Terrifiant. I actually really enjoy that tank. It's actually so fun. I don't know what it is. I think it's that gun. I really do. I think it's that gun. That gun simply hits so hard and it's so satisfying. With 8 degrees gun impression, this tank just feels good. And the gun is actually accurate too. And this tank has like really weird armor too to shoot at. It's not so simple to make to penetrate this tank. Of course, when you side scrape though, it's not great. 100%. This tank side scraping is not great. But even then, you can actually make this tank work a little bit. Like you can definitely make this work. Once you load premium, you basically have to side scrape a little bit further than that, and then once you do, obviously you're not going to be doing so well. But, I mean, yeah, this part here is really the main issue with side scraping, 100%. But, you know what, you can actually reverse side scrape with this tank. Yeah, you can reverse side scrape with this tank. And it might actually give you an advantage. I didn't realize this, but actually, yeah, it does. If you reverse side scrape with this tank, it actually gives you a slight advantage because the fact that this covers more of your turret, the rear does. This part here covers more of your turret, and also this part is simply further away. And this part, the hull, is actually a little bit hidden instead of being shown, like so. If you do it like this, if you side scrape like this, you're actually going to be showing this part of your tank. And you're going to be showing this part. But if you do it like this, it's much better. It's much better. They might be trying to shoot here because they see it's a reverse side scraping. And they might not think it's that strong. The thing is, I think this is going to be very weak to high explosive. I think this is going to be very, very weak to high explosive. Let's look at it versus a tier 9 to compare it correctly. The Peacekeeper. Oh, yeah. Oof. 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 That doesn't look so good. That's versus 310 heat. So that's, yeah, that's not good. So yeah, tanks with heat rounds, you really don't want to side scrape at all. Really? Yeah, you simply don't want to side scrape at all, because you're gonna have to do it like this, and you're gonna get shot in the upper plate, or you're gonna simply get shot all on the side. So yeah, it's really not great. But you can definitely side scrape against regular rounds, 100%. You definitely can, or you can simply side scrape like this. But then you're weak to APCR rounds, as you can see. APCR goes through this thing quite reliably in the front. And so side scraping is really useful for when you're getting into a fight against someone with premium APCR or AP rounds. But other than that, this tank is nice. It really is. It can do a lot of things. And like I said, I'm still feeling good. Let me drink some water. I have not started to feel tired yet. Like, fully tired. I'm still feeling good. Basically the same, if not better. And look at this thing's damage per minute, too. 2,600. Is that with Gunrammer? Oh, it is with Gunrammer. Okay. Still, that's nice. That's decent. Got some decent hit points, too. Yeah, it's not that quick, but that's okay. Got some nice hit points with that hardening that I have on it. That's the reason I have it. Proving the gun with dispersion reduction and then having hardening makes this tank very nice to play. And this is the perfect build on this tank. There's no other build that's really better than this. There really isn't. This tank is nice. It really is. It's a good tank. I like it a lot. Tier 9, 500 damage per shot. Hits hard. It really does. Let's go look at that comment now. This one. They said, I haven't been commenting or doing anything because I'm too lazy, lol, but have a great day or good night. I think this is a younger person, but it doesn't matter. This is what I said, though. I said, you don't need to. I appreciate you watching and even commenting at all on my previous videos. Watch when you want and comment when you want. I will be continuing to make videos either way, and things will be getting more interesting as I do because I am still improving. And the reason I say I'm still improving is because as you should, well, as I've been saying in my videos, as you should know if you've been watching my videos, I've been dealing with pesticides in my fruits and trying to perfect what I eat more. And trying to lower how I'm feeling, trying to lower how bad I'm feeling or how inconsistent I'm feeling. And it's been difficult to deal with it because of all of the different feelings I'm feeling when I... Well, actually, it's been quite good, but other than the fact of pesticides, I've been feeling quite good. Quite consistent, actually, and that's the reason I've been uploading a lot of videos, is because I've been feeling consistent. I've been feeling good, but when I ate those pesticide fruits, yeah, it basically ruined everything. I mean, seriously, I simply didn't feel consistent anymore, and it really caused me to not feel good and to do less. I was enjoying actually doing more. It's actually one of the most I've done, some of the most stuff I've done in a long time, like doing World of Tanks videos and then doing Overwatch Workshop, a tremendous amount of Overwatch Workshop, doing insanely long periods of time simply dedicating to Workshop, and that was really fun, actually. It was a lot of fun I had doing that, because I haven't done that in a really long time, and it feels good to do that again. When I did that, I was like, when I did those really long hours, it was when I was like maybe 12 to 14 or like 12 to 15, and then I really didn't do it that often anymore. After that, I started being distracted and not feeling that motivation as much because I've been doing workshop for so long that it's been boring me in a way. It has been boring me in a lot of ways because I simply am not getting what I want done 100% and getting it all done and getting it everything to be perfect like I want it to be, like I've been trying it to get it to be. And so it's been boring me a bit, but it's been feeling much more worth it again. And not simply for randomness, it's actually been feeling much more worth it because I've been able to actually stay awake. One of the reasons actually I was so bored with workshop and everything was starting to feel less motivating to keep going is actually because after I ate or after I did something, well, after I ate, actually, mainly after I ate, I would try to do workshop and I would simply start getting tired. I would try to do workshop. I was trying to get things done. And I simply started getting tired. And I didn't know if it was because I was bored, but that's the reason I thought I was getting tired. It's because I was simply getting bored. But the fact is, it's probably not that actually. It really isn't. It's probably not that. And yeah, the thing is, I had a want to play World of Tanks in the past. I really did. I had a lot of want to play World of Tanks. Because that was one of the best ways to keep me awake. But also because I was simply enjoying the game a lot. And I still am in a lot of ways. I still am enjoying the game a lot in a lot of ways, but I simply need to be more consistent. That's all. So combined with the fact that my food I was eating was making me tired, and the fact that I was enjoying World of Tanks a lot, and it wasn't making me as tired, I actually thought that it was because of Overwatch Workshop that was simply like boring me in a way, and that's the reason I was actually getting tired. I did think it was somewhat because of my food, because of the fact that my food was processing and everything. But that's what it was. I thought it was simply processing. I didn't think it was actually bad, which I do now, which because of the food I was eating, which mostly was bread. And bread has high in carbohydrates. And as I said, I'm not tired still. I'm still not tired. I ate 20 chicken nuggets, 2 cookies, and that's it. And I don't feel tired. The carbohydrates in those 2 foods is actually quite low. And also in the fries I was eating, of course I have changed. I haven't eaten McDonald's all the time. I actually stopped eating McDonald's for a very long time, but the fact is I haven't stopped eating breads and like pizzas and things like that. And guess what? Pizzas are higher in carbohydrates too because it's bread. And even if you get a thin pizza, which I've been trying to get because not only is it really good, but also it's thin, so it's lower in carbohydrates. But I've never tried this. I've never tried actually getting something like decently low in carbohydrates. Like a pizza is still quite high in carbohydrates. For the entire pizza, for the entire thin crust pizza, or even, yeah, for the entire like thin crust pizza, it's probably like 200 grams of carbohydrates or whatever. 200 grams of carbohydrates. Or 200 carbohydrates, whatever you want to call it. I don't know exactly what it is, like the measurement, but it's 200. We'll say 200. And for chicken nuggets, like for a 10-piece chicken nugget, it's 20. So it's a huge difference. That's because the meat is it simply doesn't have carbohydrates. Like the carbohydrate amount in meat is so little. But the fact is, the stupid batter and the stupid bread is the reason that those carbohydrates are so high. And it does have an effect because I'm not really that tired now. And I actually won't even go use the bathroom now. Which is something. And you know what? I might actually start getting tired after I use the bathroom. So I'm gonna go do that now. And I'm gonna come back and see how I feel. I'm back. What I would say the carbohydrates actually do is they don't simply make me tired, but they basically make me want to not do much. And so that makes me even more tired. They make me a little bit tired, and then I don't do much, and then I get more tired. I think that's what's going on with the carbohydrate stuff, is because it simply takes maybe potentially too much for my body to process it. Or it simply affects me in some way that simply makes it more difficult for me to use my energy correctly. And also, like I said, the pesticides in the fruits, which has been a problem, and I have experienced effects from eating them. Bad effects. But let's go back to what I was looking at before. Is it showing my screen? There we go. There, it is showing my screen. So we're back to this. So this other person said, damn, another peak dropped. I still don't understand why people say this type of stuff. It's because I don't actually understand the reasoning they do it. I mean, I know I guess they think that this is actually nice and like they actually like the content, but it's not normal. That's the reason I say it. It's because that's the reason I say that. It's because I know this type of content is not normal. So, and they even admitted it too. They said this exact person actually said they wanted me to edit my videos more. So they even know this, this content is not normal, but they like it anyways. So it's very interesting. Yeah, okay. I think it was this video. This one, yeah. See this one? This person said, you're underrated as hell. Dedication is insane. Only if you edited the vids or added thumbnails, you would have had thousands of subs. That's the thing, though. It's like, they they even want me to do edits and make it more normal. But even though they still like it, even though they still somewhat enjoy these videos. Actually, sometimes I actually do watch my own videos. I actually do sometimes simply to relax and look at what I made. To look at I usually look at World Tanks. I don't usually watch the Overwatch videos, but I sometimes do. Also for those, sometimes very rarely though. Rarely I do watch. There's a very low amount of you'd have to put a very low amount of text there. You'd have to put a very low. I think I will do some Overwatch Workshop again soon. This is what I said to them. I said, no. I said, they said you're underrated as hell. Dedication is insane. Only if you edited the vids or added thumbnails, you would have had thousands of subs. And I said, no. I keep things pure. That's the reason I'm underrated. You even underrate me. You even underrate me, which is very important because they actually did underrate me. They said only if you edited the vids or added thumbnails. So, yeah, that's an underration already. And they said, I mean, you're right at some points. And the fact is, the reason I'm underrated is because I like to do this. I keep things pure. That's the reason I said that. I keep things relaxing, and not only the relaxing, but I keep them interesting and normal and natural. It's not some nonsense edited together for you. I don't need to edit my videos. I can simply talk and have a good time, and you can enjoy it with me. I don't need to edit anything. I have the pause button, and that's all I need. And I also have other things like watching a video while I eat, or making a video like this, where I can talk about people like this and also countless other different things. And it's fun. It's interesting too, because there is a lot of things to think about, and there's a lot of things I want to do, and there's a lot of things that people limit themselves with on YouTube, and I'm simply not doing any of that. I'm not limiting myself at all with any preferences, any social pressures. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not limiting myself at all by saying I need to edit all my videos and all of that. I'm keeping things passionate and natural, and simply me talking, enjoying that. If I want to talk, if I don't want to talk, then I stop talking. If I want to talk lower, then I'm going to talk lower. Of course, I don't want you to have to struggle to hear me if I'm trying to talk. That's the reason I've been adjusting my volume levels for a long time. And you know what? I was actually 100% correct about my volume levels. It's been working absolutely perfectly. I looked at my videos. I watched that Overwatch video that I told you I would. It's been working perfectly. It does my volume levels absolutely perfectly. It still gets me talking a little bit louder like this, but it literally sounds perfect. It doesn't actually distort it at all, and it sounds really good. So I fixed that completely. It's amazing. That was absolutely a huge for me, and that's going to affect my videos a lot and make them much higher quality. So my voice is actually consistent, and it's not cutting out or any nonsense. It's not sounding terrible when I talk louder, or simply talk at a normal volume, because I have to basically increase the volume a bit to hear me when I'm lower. When I talk lower, I will need to increase the volume. I have needed to increase the volume, and also this microphone it's an Astro A50. It's the Astro A50 headset, and it naturally has a lower microphone level. The microphone simply is lower. That's simply how it is. So I've needed to boost it also because of that. And currently what I'm doing is I have a gain on this for 20 decibels. So it's a big improvement, and it keeps it around this yellow area when I talk, and if I talk lower like so, it goes down to maybe near green. But then if I talk up here, the compressor, if I talk above this 12 decibel range, the compressor actually compresses it, but it doesn't do it too hard or too little, and it does it perfectly enough so that it still sounds good while also keeping a little bit of the range of me talking. So it's really nice. It's really cool, and it works perfectly. And I say, but I am willing to make specific videos, and also I said this before they even sent this. So I sent this. I said, but I am willing to make specific videos and thumbnails and titles. If you want me to make something, then you should tell me. Otherwise, it'll need to be when I decide. And that is correct. It will need to be when I decide. And also, I do appreciate your comment. And I'm making this video because of it. I need to actually deal with my emotions and say them and show them. I do appreciate it. it's new to me. It really is. It's new to me to have such people liking me, to have people liking my videos. I do really like that. And I like seeing my subscribers go up. I like seeing people actually understand some of the things I've said, and I hope that some of the things I'm saying in these videos are actually important for you, and are actually being useful to you, other than simply fun and entertainment, but actually useful. Because I've said a lot of things, a lot of important things, and there are some things that I want you to actually use in your life to improve yourself, not to simply give you a little bit of fun and entertainment. I think I'm almost done with this video, actually. I think I'm about done. I think I've done what I need to do. I feel good, actually, and I still feel good. I don't feel too tired. I'm really not. So I think my strategy is working. I think I can maybe start eating candy again and eating cookies again, but keeping it limited, of course. It's still going to affect me, but the carbohydrates is important. I think the carbohydrates is actually one of the main things about it that actually has been making me tired and making me feel bad and inconsistent. It's potentially the carbohydrates, not really the sugar as much. Yes, of course, if you eat too much sugar, you're probably still going to feel off, and your brain's probably not going to work properly. But I think, well, the thing is, with fruits, there's actually a good amount of sugar in fruits. There's quite a bit actually in fruits. But when you eat it from fruits, it has fiber surrounding that sugar, or it's simply in something that your body doesn't easily break down, and so it takes a longer time to actually get all of that sugar into your body and affecting you. But the fact is, all of that sugar still gets eventually into your body, and there is still a certain amount that does go into your body at a rate. And so it's very interesting to think about, because there's still a lot of sugar actually in fruits. And comparatively to having a candy or something like that, there's actually not an insane amount of sugar in candy. There's a good amount there, not a good amount, but there's a good amount actually. Yeah, there's a good amount. I'll say a good amount because it's not important if it's good or bad. I'm not talking if it's good or bad. I'm talking there's a good amount because of how much there actually is comparatively to fruits. There's a good amount comparatively. It's a bit more obviously than would I say it's a bit more? No, actually I wouldn't say it's a bit more. It's a bit more instantly. It's a bit more instantly, not over a long period. Actually, a fruit will probably give you more. Well, not all fruits. There's a bunch of different fruits. Also, vegetables. Vegetables are extremely low in sugar, so you don't have to worry about a vegetable giving you sugar, or you don't have to think about it, because the fact is a vegetable doesn't have much sugar. And that's the reason a lot of people don't eat vegetables, is because they're not sweet. They're not very good. That's simply a fact. That's how it works. We like sweet things. But the fact is that the main difference between a candy and a fruit is actually how fast that sugar goes into your body, not the fact of having an insane amount of sugar. Yes, there is candies with an insane amount of sugar in them, and yes, those candies are incredibly unhealthy, but there are candies that are actually very similar to how much fruit gives you. And so simply being careful not to eat too much, and to understand what's going on with the carbohydrates you might actually be able to be okay with it. And that's what I'm testing now, is actually trying to be okay with it. Potentially, actually it not affecting me as badly as I thought. And maybe it was simply because of the carbohydrates. And yes, I am still feeling tired. I did say that already, and I am still feeling a little bit tired. And so that is because of the carbohydrates still. I still had 2 cookies, which was, each one was about, I think, 20 grams of carbohydrates, somewhere near there. And also the 10 chicken nuggets, the 20 chicken nuggets I had were also 20 grams of carbohydrates each. So each 10. So probably about 80 carbohydrates or more. No, it's definitely more. It's more than that. It's like 90. Somewhere near 90. And so, yeah, I do think that might be too much, actually. I think that might be too much, and I'm going to lower it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply lower it. I'm going to find a way to lower it. I can lower it. I mean, all I would need to do, really, all I would need to do is simply not eat those 2 cookies. If I simply didn't eat the 2 cookies, I'd be way under. Way under, and I probably wouldn't have any tiredness at all. I was actually only planning, like I said, I was only planning to eat 1, but they gave me 2. And so I simply decided, I mean, they gave me 2 accidentally. I'm not going to let someone else eat it. I'm not going to simply waste it, and I'm not going to simply let it get cold. It's best to eat it now. And it shouldn't be too bad of a test, basically. That's what I said to myself. It shouldn't be too bad of a test. It'll still be a good test because I'm still excluding the fries. So it's still a good test, and my test succeeded. I really am happy with my test. I haven't tested what it will feel like later because there's a lot of time left. I mean, it's currently only 2 p.m. I could like pass out at 5 p.m. again, so we'll see, but I really hope not. I really hope not. And I do feel like I feel much better. I do feel that. And actually, I did awaken quite early, and I ate quite early too. What time did I eat it though? I don't know exactly when I ate. I did start recording. Yeah, so I think I may have ate at like 12. At like 12, maybe. I can look at the notification, actually. Let me look at the notification. Notification history. I have notification history turned on my phone, and that helps me significantly. Simply check when the food got delivered. 11:45 a.m. So I ate at probably about 11:50. And so it's currently 2 p.m. It's not bad. It's actually not a bad sign because, yeah, I technically am. I did pass out at like 4, but that was only after a little bit of time after I ate because I awoken later. I've been awakening later because of my sleep schedule being off. So I've been awakening later. That's the reason I ate later. And so this test now actually isn't too far off. So I would say once it gets to about 3 p.m. or maybe 3:30 p.m., I think that's a really good test to show if it worked or not. I mean, this is already a good test because, like I said, I am tired a little bit, but it's not crazy. It's not too much. And I don't feel like it's affecting my brain that much. I feel like I'm actually quite intelligent still. So I'm feeling good. We will see soon. I will be uploading another World of Tanks video today. Not uploading, but recording another one. And I want to do well. I want to enjoy the game. Not do well, really. I want to simply enjoy the game. I really do, because that's what is really the most important part about World of Tanks, is enjoying it. But yes, of course, doing well is part of that. I mean, if I'm playing a tank that I like to play, but I'm doing garbage in it, I mean, obviously I'm not going to enjoy the game. And if I'm simply playing a tank that I don't really care about, but I'm doing well, then obviously it's not going to be as fun. So I want to do both. I want to play a tank that I actually like, I actually think is well designed, and then I want to do really good in it. And also, I was recently looking at something on World of Tanks. Look at this. I'm actually improving my statistics. I really have been. I've been going through a bit of stagnation when I play, or when I've played in the past. I've been struggling to actually improve my win ratio. It's been near 50% for a long time. Maybe the lowest it's ever been is probably about 49.5, or maybe less than that. And then the highest, well, I don't know about highest, but, and then it goes maybe up to like 50%, or maybe more than that, a little bit, like 50.2 maybe I've gotten it to, while being inconsistent, I mean. But as you can see, I've been being much more consistent, and I have been playing better. Of course, I am playing some powerful tanks, 100%, but I'm not only playing powerful tanks, and as you can see, my most played tanks, they're not insanely powerful tanks, they're simply a bunch of tanks. I mean, there's a few here I guess you could say are powerful, but my most played tank is literally a light tank, so I would say that alone shows that I'm not simply playing powerful tanks. Yes, my second highest tank is dang SFAC, but I mean, I still have a bunch of other tanks. I simply liked SFAC. I didn't really play this tank simply because it was good. I actually played it because this tank simply feels really good to have that double hit so accurately. It's just so fun. And also, SFAC is good, but it's not crazy good. It really isn't, because really what makes a tank crazy good is if it has armor. And that's the reason BZ-176 is so good. When a tank does not have armor, you can only do so much in a match. Your tank is actually limited hard by your team, because if your team fails hard, you will fail too. But with a tank like BZ-176, you can straight sit in front of your enemies, multiple enemies, and actually deflect shots and simply survive. Also, with the hit points advantage, you can simply survive. With a tank like SFAC, you cannot simply do that. You have to have teammates. And so, SFAC, it's a really good tank, but it's not like the tank is doing everything for me. You still have to actually perform in that tank. I would actually say the Chieftain is actually easier to play than the SFAC. The Chieftain is actually so nice, and it's so reliable, in a hold down. Yes, it's not perfect. Of course, playing hold down is not insanely reliable, and you can't always do that. But when you are in a place that you can do a hold down, and there is a significant amount of hold downs, it's not crazy amounts, but and also you can simply use this tank's mobility to get around and make plays. You don't have to play in a hold down. You can use this tank's gun depression and everything to make a play. The Chieftain is more of a reliable tank. Chieftain P, and that's the reason I liked it, and that's the reason I actually have one of my highest damages on this tank, barely even trying. I actually got 7,500 damage in this tank with 8 kills. And this tank, I was literally one shot away. I was one single shot away from getting my highest damage, which is 7,600, which I literally barely even tried with the STK2, and I got it. And I say barely even tried because look, 40 matches, 45 matches with the STK2, and I got 7,600 damage. I didn't really try that much. I didn't really play this tank that much, and it's not even fully leveled. I didn't even fully level it, and I got my highest damage in 40 matches. And also I did 7,500 damage with a tier 9, so yeah, this tank is good. And yeah, I did farm a bunch of players in that match, but yeah, I simply did play well. I did play well. And like I said, this tank is reliable. It's very reliable. And yes, it is powerful. It is powerful. It's not crazy. It's not crazy. This tank can actually get outplayed quite easily because it's simply like a basic tank, really. It's a basic tank that has that basic gun, but the armor, the armor and the gun depression is so nice. On a tier 9 tank, it's so nice to have so much armor on that turret. And you can simply turn the turret towards another guy, and someone can shoot you in the side of the turret, still bounce off. The Chieftain is one of the best tanks at tier 9, absolutely. The dang gun depression, the cupolas, yeah, it's a little bit big. But I would say the Chieftain P at tier 9 is better than the Chieftain at tier 10. The actual Chieftain, the Chieftain T95, whatever it's called. Not T95, the T95 I think is the other stupid one, but the main Chieftain, the Chieftain that people get with paying bonds and trying to get from the maneuvers, that Chieftain. The Chieftain P is better at tier 9. You see, the Chieftain, yeah, it's good at tier 10, but you're not earning credits like you are with the Chieftain P. And also, it doesn't mean as much to have insane turret armor at tier 10 with the Chieftain. But it does for a tier 9 tank. That's the reason the Chieftain is really powerful and really, really nice tank. And it's definitely one of my favorite tanks. It was one of the first tanks I played on my channel. You can actually see and go to the start of my channel, and the first tank I played was Jagdpanzer 100. That was the first tank I played. Also, I want to talk about something. I straight remembered something as we're talking about this now. My videos in the past, I used a voice changer. So if you want to look at my videos in the past, you will immediately notice a difference to how I am currently. That's because, like I said, I'm still improving. And I've been improving for a long time, not simply on my videos, not simply on entertaining you, but actually on myself. I've done a lot, not simply on my videos, but mentally and physically. And also on my videos in the past, on those Fortnite videos, my first video was a Fortnite video. Fortnite Fight Arena. How I did it in the past was I simply showed you what I made, what I improved, but I never actually showed you what I was doing in the moments. And yeah, somewhat that is important to do when you're creating something, because not everyone's going to watch everything. And somewhat, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to do that. But it also doesn't make a lot of sense because it doesn't show how much actual work you're putting in, and it doesn't show everything else that you could be talking about and saying and doing while actually still showing what you're creating and showing what you're improving. Because I can still do that while talking about other things and still trying to give you some enjoyment, and also try to make myself enjoy it a bit more by talking to you, because I do enjoy this. I do enjoy talking like this and making more sense to myself, and also making more sense to all of you. Any of you watching. Because I don't want there to be any confusion. I don't want there to be any misunderstandings. How I was in the past was because of a lot of different reasons. I basically didn't want anyone to have too much information about me. That's what it was. I wanted to be secure at all times, even from like the smallest of things. I wanted to be secure and private. And I wanted basically only the people that actually deserved to see it and get information about me to have information about me. I didn't want anyone else to have any information about me unless they deserved it. And that includes my voice. The only other information, which obviously I can't avoid if I want to talk to you, is simply like how I talk, my personality. And yeah, the reason I did it was flawed in a few ways. The reasons I did it was flawed, and that's the reason I'm not doing it anymore, of course. That's the reason, of course. If I thought that it was still correct, I would be still doing it now, but I'm not, because I don't think it's correct anymore. I know it's not correct, actually. It's not correct because it doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't make sense to me anymore. It's not about that it doesn't make sense anymore. It simply doesn't make sense to me anymore. It doesn't make sense. I'm not justifying it anymore. I did it for a reason, but I found other reasons to not do it. Mainly because there's not anything to worry about. Of course, I was never really worrying about anything. Really, I wasn't. I was never really worrying about if someone would hurt me or something like that, or someone would try to find me or anything like that. But I simply wanted to like I said, keep it to where people would only be able to hear me, and also keep it to where only people would know information about me when they deserved it, and they wouldn't know too much information about me unless they deserved it. That's really the main reason. And yeah, it was also for security, and also for potential that people could try to find me from any information I gave them. And I liked being anonymous. I liked being someone that was unknown in a way, because I didn't really like people. I really didn't. I didn't like a lot of people. Well, it's not about liking people, really. It wasn't about liking people. That's the reason I did it, but it was because that I wanted people to actually deserve it, for me to talk to them in that way, for me to talk to them in my real voice. I wanted people to actually earn it, because a lot of people don't earn things in today's society. They simply expect it. That goes for males and females. And yeah, I guess you could say some of the reasons I've experienced some females not wanting me is because of of some of these inconsistencies I've had. But I've been consistent on a lot of things in my life. I have been very consistent on a lot of things. I've always tried to give people what they deserve. I've always cared about people. I've always not cared about people, but mainly females. I've always cared about females, and I've always shown that. And the fact is, females have always been quite blind to how a male cares about you, about them. They don't really fully understand how a male cares about you. And so they basically assume from how they feel. If they feel good from a male, they're, oh, he cares about me. But if they don't feel good, then they don't really understand, and they don't try to understand, and then it's not even about if I care about them or not. They simply don't want to even know, because they don't understand. And if they don't understand, then obviously, what's the reason to stay? Especially if they have countless other males talking to them, which most females do, because that's simply how desperate males have gotten from how many females are giving them a strugglesome time and giving them difficulties. Yeah, it gets quite desperate when females want to keep being so difficult. Yeah, it gets quite desperate. And yeah, one of the reasons that females are being difficult is because of things like chlorine in the water. Definitely. You think that doesn't affect their mental? 100% it does. It affects the mental of males too. I mean, that's one of the reasons that females don't want to actually give themselves to as many males, is because the males are not very attractive. The males are not very appealing to them, because of countless different reasons. A lot of males are actually overweight in today's society. I mean, literally, look at porn. Literally, look at porn and simply watch a few videos of males. I mean, seriously, all of them have way too big of stomachs, and you can literally see it. They all have huge stomachs. It looks unhealthy. They all look unhealthy. And they all are quite ugly, too. There's definitely a bit of outliers, 100%, but the fact is, there's too many males that are unhealthy, and there's too many females that are unhealthy too. And because of that, the inconsistencies with males and females is way too high. The actual lack of understanding from both genders is way too high. And you know what I've noticed? I'm going to say this now. I've been actually completely not showering, like I said in one of my previous videos. I've been completely not showering for a good amount of time, simply because there's chlorine in the water. And I've also been, another thing you're probably going to say, oh, wow, that's disgusting. I've been not washing my hands. Basically, I have been washing my hands. I have been. But not in the way that you think, not from the sink. I've been washing my hands with distilled water. I've been using paper towels, putting it down, pouring distilled water on it, and then cleaning my hands like that, and that's it. And yes, you might say, oh, that's terrible, your hands are probably dirty. Buddy, I don't go outside, and if you're saying I go to the bathroom and that gets my hands dirty, you don't understand. You act like I pee on my hands or something. No, I don't pee on my hands. I touch the toilet, which I touch literally every day, and there's barely anything on the toilet. I mean, there's nothing on it. Of course, I can't really fully see it, but there's a little bit of bacteria on it. So what? You think that bacteria is going to destroy my hands or destroy my body? No, my body can handle a little bit of bacteria. And you act as if I'm touching people all the time. No, I'm not touching people, actually. And yeah, maybe I'm touching my eyes a little bit, but like I said, I do wash my hands when I get here. I clean them with a paper towel and some distilled water. And that does get all, basically, as much bacteria off as I need it to. And so the hygiene is not something to worry about. Really, it isn't. So I don't want to hear it from anyone, really. I don't want to hear it from anyone about that, because it's absolute nonsense if you say I'm being dirty because of it. It's absolute nonsense. And yeah, I've been washing my hands with soap for a long time. I've been washing my hands with chlorine water for a long time. And the reason I'm even talking about this now is because I wanted to actually tell you something that I've noticed already from not doing that, from not washing my hands, and from not showering. I've noticed my hands are actually becoming more moisturized than I've ever seen them. Recently, I was watching a video from Des Games about the new assembly shop tank, and I looked at my hands and I simply see them glistening a bit. Like, they were actually glistening a bit, not because I was sweating, but because they weren't sweating. I wasn't sweating. That was simply moisture in my skin, and that's how it's naturally meant to be. And it looks so much different, though. That's the thing. It looks so much different. There's always meant to be moisture in your skin because that helps with everything. It helps with keeping the skin alive, and also it helps with cleaning it. It helps with keeping dead skin off. Do you know how dead skin builds up? Is because when it comes off from your that main layer of skin, like when it dies, it'll just sit there, basically. If there's no water, it'll simply sit there, and it'll build up until it's actually seen by you. But if you have water on your skin, it'll actually evaporate instead. That's how it works. And I've only recently understood that, because it makes perfect sense. And That's one of the main reasons, actually, that a lot of people, you know how people get dandruff and all that stuff? Well, guess what? That's probably because of chlorine in the water. Do you know how people get acne? It's probably because of chlorine in the water. Yeah. A lot of people say acne is from puberty. I don't think so. I simply don't think so. I think it's more complicated than that. More complicated than you think. And yeah, it might be somewhat because of puberty. And maybe there's some type of process that happens that makes your skin a little bit irritated. But the fact is, how your skin actually works is it is meant to be a little bit hydrated, a little bit moist. A little bit, very little. And obviously, I'm only seeing this now. I'm only seeing it a little bit now. I haven't really fully experienced this, and because I haven't been doing this for very long, I haven't been not washing my hands and not using the shower for a long time. And there's even still chlorine in the air because of it evaporating from the water. So it's not a perfect situation. It's not a perfect example, but my hand simply looks different. Like, it doesn't look the same. And I could show you, but I haven't showed my body at all on YouTube yet. Maybe I will at some point, but the fact is I'm still never going to show my face. I really don't think, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to show my face, but I still do like to keep things mysterious, and I do still want you to earn it. And also, I don't want you to make conclusions from that. I don't want you to start thinking about me differently because of my face or anything like that. I want to simply be consistent. But the fact is, my hand does look different. And another thing is because of the fact that chlorine is probably drying out your skin. If you look at old people, you'll actually see their skin looking really thin and dry, like really, really thin. Really thin and really wrinkly. And do you know what wrinkles are caused by? Dryness. If you look in the desert, you'll see how the cracks are in the ground. The cracks are in countless different things. That's the same with skin. The cracks are basically the wrinkles. And that doesn't always mean that your skin was actually pulled at some point and it was constantly used there. The fact is, after so long of being exposed to chlorine, your skin will actually start to simply damaged. It gets damaged. It will simply start to get damaged, and it will start to show signs of that. Even if you don't realize it, even if you think everything is good, it will show signs. And after so long, after getting older, it's quite obvious. My skin still looks really good. It does. It really looks good, but the only way to really keep it looking good is to understand these types of things. If you don't understand it, you really can't. You really can't understand and actually be sure that you're doing what's correct. That's the reason I try so much to think about these things and to perfect these things, because otherwise, how long will this last for? I don't know. It could be taken away at any point if I don't actually think about these things. And obviously, that should never happen. It should never be taken away, because obviously I don't want to have my body taken away or my body degraded. So I've worked hard for my body, and I'm going to continue to work hard for it. not simply work, but feel motivated to do what's best for my body and enjoy my body. What I would really like to do, though, I would really like to sue the companies or whatever forces are in play with the fact of chlorine being in the water. I would like to sue whoever's making that happen. I would like to sue them extremely hard. And I would like to not simply sue them, but actually use that money to improve everything about countless different things. About a lot of people's lives, a lot of people in general. I would like to improve a lot of people, because a lot of people are struggling with the same things I have, and they're struggling with potentially even more than that. No, they are struggling with more than that. I mean, they're struggling with a lot of things, and the fact is, there's more to offer to life than this. There absolutely is. And we're making things so incredibly complicated. We're making things so stupid. And it's so not needed to be this complicated. There's so many things you can understand without having to look at statistics. There are so many things you can think of logically without being confused about it, without having to question yourself about it, and without needing to reaffirm yourself using other people. You don't need to have reinforcement from other people all the time. You don't need other people for everything. I would say really the main thing you need in life is, of course, I mean, since I don't technically, since I'm not technically doing much with females, I mean, yeah, sure, you could say I'm going to say this, and it makes more sense for me to say this, but it's not only that. It's actually because the main thing in life is still finding a partner, finding a romantic partner. It still is. Like, that's the most important thing in life. It's not, I mean, yeah, of course, family is important too, but the fact is, family is really most important when you're younger. But when you get older, the fact is, the most important thing is still a partner, a romantic partner. And it's still the opposite gender. It will never change. Even if you feel you're gay and you're happy, doesn't matter. You would be happier if you're with the opposite gender. Ideally, if you were with the opposite gender and they were actually a good person, if they were actually healthy, and you were healthy too, then yes, that would be the best option. And you might think that you've already tried it, but the fact is, you will never try it enough. Even if you don't care, even if you don't like it, even if you've reaffirmed yourself countless times, you didn't try it enough. Because it's always worth it to keep trying for the fact of there will be that one person that finally gives you what you deserve. And if you quit, if you stop trying, you're never going to get what you deserve. You're never going to get the best. It's not all about what you think. There is a best. Even if you feel that you want something else, if you want someone else, it doesn't mean it's the best. And that's the thing that males do so incredibly well, is actually trying to be the best. Of course, males in today's society have really struggled with that. They've really been lacking because they're doing things that are more preferential and more optional. But the fact is, males are still the best option for doing what's best. They're the best at doing what's best. And the most capable at doing what's best. And that will never change because the fact is, males are too competitive. Females, yeah, they've gotten more competitive, but the fact is, males are more competitive. It doesn't matter how competitive females get. Males are more competitive. It doesn't matter how much feminism removes from males and doesn't want to actually give males what they deserve and tries to give females more when it gives males less, even if it seems correct, even if it seems like you're simply giving females more options and more things that they can enjoy and be safe and be okay and all of that. Of course, being safe is definitely an important thing, of course, but being safe could also mean removing options from males and removing happiness from a male being able to actually protect you instead. You don't technically need to be safe without a male. You can be safe with a male. That's what a male is designed for, to keep you safe. They will do their best to keep you safe. I mean, you are the most important thing to a male. You should be, at least. If you're not, then obviously the male is obviously not correct, because that is the most important thing, is keeping the female safe, the female that you care about. I mean, females in general, really. Of course, not every female deserves to be kept safe. There are some really bad ones, but most females, and I don't know about most, I can't say most, but if a female deserves it, if a female has earned it, then yes, that should be the most important thing. If a female has shown you their potential, has shown you they're a good person, and they're interesting, and they have done things for you, and they simply have made you happy, then yeah, they should be protected by you. That's simply how it works. They should be. And yeah, feminism in the past, I think it was started mainly because of males getting mentally ill and mistreating their females, and then yeah, that's what I really do think. I think males were starting to really mistreat their females, and also it's potentially because of overpopulation too. Maybe there was a bunch of females that were simply left out and struggling because there simply wasn't enough males to give them what they deserved, and also maybe the males, like I said, were not as good as they should have been. So there's a few different things to think about. The feminism parts, the feminism movement, all of that feminism stuff, all of it. There's a few different things to think about, and there's a few different reasons for it. And it doesn't mean they're all good. It doesn't mean they're all needed. It doesn't mean that it should have happened. What really should have happened is that males should have done better, and also we should not be doing such things to females. I mean, obviously we shouldn't have abused them so much. We shouldn't abuse them at all. We shouldn't have abused them at all. But what I will say is this. The reason we did is because of work. That's the reason. It's because of work. Things got so incredibly terrible. And that's the reason females are actually working too, is because working as a male is so incredibly stressful and boring and demanding and hurtful in a lot of different ways. And the thing is, in the past, it didn't really cost money to survive. It costed energy. It didn't cost money, it costed energy. And yes, if a community had the ability to build a house or to build something for you to live in, they did it for you. You didn't actually need to pay much. You didn't need to pay $1 million to get a dang house and to get a safe place for you to stay at and actually enjoy your life like it does today. Like, that's the reason dang no one wants to buy a house. It's because it costs too dang much. And then you're staying at a stupid renting place where you're paying nonsense amounts too, even though the dang thing is so incredibly inhumane and optimized for population. Even so, it's still insanely expensive. So the fact is, we are suffering from overpopulation and stupidity. And misunderstanding. And really, we should stop having children. We should. We need a break. That's what we need, and I think we're getting one anyways. A lot of people are having sex less and having children less, and it's actually going to be good for us because we are simply not doing well. It's very obvious. It's actually very obvious. If you look literally anywhere, you'll see that people are so inconsistent and so incredibly stupid. Yeah, if you're looking at it, you might not be the most intelligent either, so you might not see those things. So it depends on who's actually looking. of course, but it is still true. I've seen it countless times online and physically. Not physically, but online, and that's more than enough because that is physical in a lot of ways. There's countless players, there's countless people online, there's countless people in videos that I've watched, there's countless videos I watched of people being in the real world and talking to people and doing things in the real world. I don't need to actually do it myself, so you cannot say that I'm not informed. And if you do, you're an idiot. But the fact is, there's a lot of things going on with life, and you should really not ignore them. Because currently, this is one of the most important times to not ignore them. If you do ignore them, you're going to be suffering tremendously. And you're going to be inconsistent. So I want you to think about all of those things you failed at in your life, all of the things that you really wanted and you really tried to get and you didn't get them. I want you to think about all of that, and then I want you to imagine what if you were simply a bit more performant. And that's what you would be like if you were simply more refined and you understood more things about what you eat and what you drink and what's affecting your body, what's affecting your mental and your brain. I say mental. What's affecting your brain? That is mental, and it's also physical. What's affecting your brain? And I want you to imagine that you could have actually gotten those things that you wanted if only you were a little bit more intelligent, if only you were a little bit more consistent. Because all it takes is that little bit of extra dedication. All it takes is that understanding and passion. It really only takes a little bit. It only takes a little bit of adjustment to certain things in your life to have more passion and more dedication and more understanding and actually being able to perform better. It really does. At everything. I'm talking about everything, including sex, including complex thinking, including dedication to getting things and actually getting things too. Games, you can perform at games better, you can perform at talking better. You can stutter less, you can feel better. You can feel more confident, you can feel more submissive. If you're a female, you can feel more submissive. You don't have to think about so many different things. You can actually simply enjoy life a bit more. You can stop trying to control everything like most females do in the society. And you can let males do more. Because that's what males need to do. Because currently, it's really sad for males. Males are not doing enough, and that's the reason a lot of males are lonely and depressed, is because they don't have a purpose. What I would say is for you to simply do some of those things I've said. Try some things. Really, test some things like I have. Test it, see how you feel. You might actually like how you feel after you test them. You might actually really be interested and really understand what I'm saying. You never know. You never know how you'll think. You never know how it'll affect you. You never know how much you'll change from from what you actually are doing with eating and drinking, because it is very important. Eating and drinking are both very important. If you're drinking things, I would say drinking is definitely more safe than eating. But the thing is, it's still very important what you're drinking. So if you're drinking things if you're drinking things other than distilled water, you're risking yourself, really. You're risking yourself. That's simply how it is. You really don't understand all of the things that's affecting you with how much stuff is in the water and in the liquid you're drinking. Well, yeah, it's water. It's flavored water, basically. You don't really understand that. You don't understand every single thing, how it affects you in every single way. You don't understand that. It's simply impossible. So the best way is to be safe and to be understanding that you want to actually be like water. You really do. You want to actually be like water. You want to be clear. And yeah, that does sound a bit more stupid. 100%. Yeah, it does. But it's true. That's the reason I said it. Sounds like I'm trying to make you a dang monk or something. I'm not trying to make you a monk. Absolutely not. But it is a true thing to think about. You want to flow like water. You do. That's simply how it works. That's how it works. That's how you want to be. And I'm not talking about being consistent and never changing and never improving. I'm talking about being perfect. That's what water is. Water is basically perfect. It's the most perfect thing we have in our world. And on Earth, I think the most perfect thing is water. Not only is it the most important thing in our body, but, well, I say not only. It's also the most important thing in our body. Air is important, yes, but it's not as important as water. Water does so much more in your body than air does. If you did not have water in your body, you'd literally be like a raisin. You'd be a raisin. You'd have nothing. If you didn't have air in your body, you'd still have something. You could still survive. You'd simply have to find another way to survive. But if you didn't have water, you're basically a brick. So what I'm saying with that is that distilled water is like how you should be. Pure and clean. So obviously it's the best option to drink. And I've never felt better with drinking water than when I drink distilled water. And it's not placebo. It really isn't. It's the truth. It's the fact. My body has felt really good since I started drinking distilled water. And not only is it the cheapest way to drink water, but it's the best way to drink water. It's the cleanest water. And the cleanness of water is the most important thing about water. You do not want to have any bacteria. You do not want to have anything in the water. And you can imagine it like any scenario you want to, like anything. The holy water or whatever. The story of the water that makes you everlasting. Guess what? It was probably clear. It was probably. It seems like that would probably be a clear water, and like rivers. Like, do you want to drink water that's not clear, or do you want to drink water that's clear? Which one do you want? Do you want to drink the one that's not clear, or the one that's clear? It's quite an obvious answer, I would say. For you, you would probably say the one that's clear. And would you say that you would like to have a little bit of not clear in that water? I would say you probably wouldn't say that. So if you could actually see it, you would actually say that you would want the one that's completely clear. That one that's completely clear is distilled water. You don't need science to understand that. It's quite simple. You need water. You don't need all of that extra stuff in it. You don't need minerals in it. You don't need chlorine in it. Like a lot of companies seem to think that you do for some reason. You need a bunch of chlorine in the water so you can die faster. Or they simply try to remove the chlorine but don't actually get all of it out, like Aquafina does, which unfortunately I drank a lot of, but I'm recovering from it. I'm okay. I will be okay, and I will improve from it. I will be okay from it. I will not let it permanently harm me. My body will protect me. And I will protect my body. But the fact is, what you need is from what you eat. That's what you need. It's not about the water. It's not about what's in the water. It's about water. You don't need minerals. You don't need electrolytes. You need water. If anyone tells you otherwise, don't listen to them. Really, it's that simple. And tell them they're an idiot. Because they are. And simply drink distilled water. Try it. I mean, at least try it. It's so nice. It's the purest water you'll ever get. And it's so refreshing. It's so refreshing to drink, and it makes me feel really good. It makes my brain work really nicely. Of course, there are inconsistencies, as I've said, with the pesticides in the fruits and anything else that I've eaten that has made me tired or inconsistent. Yeah, but yeah, I'm good on water. I got my water done. I tried Aquafina. I tried some other companies, some other water, but I was really impressed with Aquafina for some time, and I really thought that was the best water. But then I tried some distilled water. I was looking at purified distilled water, which is basically distilled water with a little bit of extra purification. Didn't like that. It tastes like cardboard. And then I tried one with pure distilled water from Walmart. It tastes so good. It tastes simply like clean water. I mean, that's literally what it tastes like. And I put it in paper cups, and the paper cups I got are not, they have zero plastic. It's simply a biodegradable film on it, which is completely natural. Of course, everything is completely natural, yes, but it's obviously different. It has to be somewhat different to be called that, and it is. It's from sugarcane, supposedly, so it's much more natural, much more healthy. I mean, well, would I say healthy? It's much more safe, and it's not hurtful. I will say that. It's much more safe, and it's not hurtful. I wouldn't say it's healthy, though. Maybe it could be. It could be healthy. It could be to have a little bit of whatever that is, that sugarcane type of thing. Could be. Maybe it could also be a little bit healthy to have a little bit of some paper, I guess you could call it, in your body to maybe that paper somehow affects your body in a good way. I don't think it affects your body in a negative way, so it's at least neutral. And I have not noticed any negative effects from it. And it's way better than plastic. I know that for a fact. Way better than plastic. I tried one PE coated cup. I didn't even drink half of the water. I didn't even drink 75% of the water. I stopped drinking. Well, actually, I did drink about 75. I drank about to the 60% level. And then I stopped. I was done with it. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. It was horrendous. It was completely dirty from the plastic. And I could actually taste it. The cups I'm using currently are Great Value from Walmart. Great Value paper cups. I don't know what it is. I don't know where Walmart got these cups, but these are some really nice cups, actually. They're simply more natural than the other ones. I got some Chinette ones. Those things are trash. Absolute trash. Don't ever buy those Chinette cups. They're a bunch of garbage, overly processed nonsense. The more natural, the more easy, the better. Really, most of the times, the most obvious solution is probably the best one. At least for natural things like this. For eating and drinking, yeah. For these types of things, yeah. And a lot of people have forgotten those things in society. I would say trees are probably one of the best ways to make cups. Quite obviously. Trees. And then, of course, the lining on it is to simply keep it from completely breaking down. and putting a whole bunch of paper in the cup, in the water, I mean. And the lining is, like I said, it's about as natural as you can get it. So those two things combined means this cup is really good. And the water's really good, so both of them combined. And you get as good as you can get it today. There's not really much else you can do to make your drinking experience better. I would say start there. If you want to improve yourself, how about you get some paper cups from Great Value and get some distilled water and try it. And also, be sure they're not tasting like plastic, and be sure they do not have a smell to them. They should smell like nothing. If they have a smell to them, that means they're probably plastic lined. Or synthetically plastic lined. What it should smell like and what it should taste like is a little bit like paper. Okay, I think I'm done. Wait, actually, I think I want to say one more thing before I go. One more thing. I care about a lot of things. I care about a lot of different things. And I actually have a message on my channel saying I give people what they deserve. And that was because of my past, because of how people thought I was and misunderstood me, saying I was a bad person. But I'm not. I never have been. And it's also because of how I am now and how I still do things. How I am still a good person. And I do care about a lot of what you enjoy. The person watching this video, if you're watching this far, I do care about that. I do care about giving you what you deserve. But I do care about myself too. Care about enjoying myself and giving myself what I deserve. And yes, I do come first. Especially because I'm a male. I must put myself first. And yes, I do care about people that actually... I don't simply care about everyone. I don't. Actually, I really don't. I don't care about everyone. I care about the people I see and the people I like. The people that are involved with me. Not simply the people I see. I meant to say the people that are involved with me and the people I like. Those are the people I care about, and that's it. I do not care about everyone, because I should not care about everyone. Not everyone is the same, and not everyone deserves to be cared about. But I do care about the people that are commenting on my videos, that are saying nice things to me. And commenting on my videos. Even if they're saying neutral things about me, I don't care as much if you're saying bad things about me. No, I don't care about you if you're saying bad things about me, of course. I care about responding to you, but I don't care about actually you. If you're saying things to try to help me, then yeah, that's good. I care about you then. But if you're saying simply bad things to me that I don't deserve, then no, I don't care about you. But generally, there's a lot of times where most people try to help me and they really don't. They say something that I already understand and I already know. But if someone does ever say something that I do not know and I do understand that's actually better, then I do say that, and I do understand that, yeah, I need to improve. I need to do better. And I do try to appreciate them for saying that and appreciate them for saying that I'm wrong or saying that I need to do something better. Because that's good. Otherwise, I may never improve. I don't like the fact that this camera rotates with your mouse. It's quite stupid. It seems like a lot of games are doing that but it shouldn't be true. It really shouldn't be. It should be static. When you keep it here, when you put it here, it should be staying in the same place, not moving around based on where your cursor's at. Such a stupid thing to do. That only really works in like 2D games and 2D things, not for 3D. It should not be true for 3D stuff because it's already in 3D. You don't need to rotate it. You don't need to move it like so. You can already move it if you want, like this. It only really works for 2D games because it's not in 3D. It's simply stupid to have to keep seeing this. A lot of games are doing this now where they like to make it so that when you move the cursor, you actually move the camera, or you move the character. It's nonsense. It only works for 2D games, and that's it. It should not be done for any other game. Also, my posts, someone recently commented on them. Let me actually go show that before I end the video. I'm trying to be sure everything's done before I actually say I'm done. I'm trying to be sure everything is done in my brain that I need to get done. That's what I'm doing now. So it's taking me a little bit longer, but it's worth it. This. I made a post here. How do I look at the post? What is going on? Okay, there. So my post here, I made a post a long time ago that people are now looking at a little bit. At least one person did. It seems like 2 people actually did because it's 2 likes and I didn't like it, so 2 people did. But my accounts got hacked, like a few accounts. It was a difficult time for me. I think I might make a post about this. Should I make a post or should I say it in this video? I'll make a post about it. I'll make a post about it to make it updated. Look, it was to make it more of a more updated thing instead of putting in this video, because this video is already very long. I'll make it a post too. But basically, yeah, that was a difficult time. My accounts got hacked. I was struggling for a bit with getting my accounts back. I got a few of my accounts back easily, but yeah, I was very worried, and a few of my accounts were actually giving me some trouble. And yeah, my Fortnite account, I lost all my friends there. I mean, I had so many, and a few of them I actually played with regularly, and all gone. Everyone was gone. And I didn't record videos playing with them. So I basically had nothing to actually remember who they were, or nothing to actually add them back. And obviously my memory wasn't that good because I was still drinking chlorine, but but it wasn't only that, it was also because it was also my way of talking was different. If you look at the way I talked in that, I simply talked differently. I was trying to perfect the way I was talking more. And I still have more things to perfect on that, but as you can see, if you look at the messages I sent, you can easily see that it's not so simple. It's different, 100%. That's because I was trying to improve the way I was talking and not simply use whatever I learned in my past from being younger and having a bunch of people around me from school. I'll read what I said. This is what I said in the video, in the post. I said, near 15 days ago, my Epic Games and a few other accounts were hacked because I wasn't careful with website downloads. It was a porn game. But the important thing is I'll be more careful, and I've recovered all of my accounts, so everything should be okay now. And I've lost all of my friends on Epic Games, my Epic Games accounts. So like any help in returning them to my friends list, but if you're simply reading this and aren't able to help me or don't want to, if that's okay too. I hope I can at least return a few friends. I'm going to try logging onto Fortnite again to see if there's anything there. And I said, I checked Fortnite, and there's nothing about my past friends, but my username was changed by the hacker, and I will be changing it eventually, but I can't now since it was changed recently. And someone actually commented on this post saying, dang. It was that same person that messaged me from before that said I was underrated. I need to end this video. I really do. I'm doing too much. I am doing too much, but I want to end it on a good part. I also want to say everything, but yeah, I need to relax. I do need to relax. And I've done well. I'm quite satisfied with what I've done in this video. I don't remember everything I've said, but I do know that I've said enough. And I do know that I've said a lot, and I do know I've made a lot of sense. And I'm ready to relax and play some World of Tanks and enjoy my day after doing this and achieving something like this, achieving the video that I wanted to achieve. I'm going to keep improving, and you should too. I'm going to post something now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm ending this video now.